Problem says Austin likes to watch squirrels find and store acorns for the winter. Brown squirrels can carry 2 acorns at a time. That's one important piece of information. Gray squirrels can carry 3 acorns at a time. And also black squirrels can carry 5 acorns at a time. It also tells me there is a pile of 24 acorns. And then it wants to know how many trips would a squirrel need to make to store all of the acorns in the pile. How many trips would a gray squirrel need to make to store all of the acorns in the pile. And how many trips would a black squirrel need to make to store all of the acorns in the pile. So the first thing I'm going to do, because it has so much information there, is to make a table. And in my table I'm going to put BR for brown squirrel, who can carry 2 acorns at a time. I'm going to put GR for gray squirrels that can carry 3 acorns at a time. And I'm going to put BL for black squirrel that can carry 5 acorns at a time. So I'm looking at how many they can carry at a time to determine how many trips it would take to get to 24. So the first strategy I'm going to use is called an array. In an array, you're going to make a rectangle using dots. Now I know I have to have a total of 24, and I know I'm just putting it 2 wide because that's how many they can carry at a time. So there's 2 dots. I can't make it any wider because it's carrying 2 at a time. I'm going to count by 2s until I get to 24. So that's 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. So I have an array that's 2 tall or 2 wide, depending on how you look at it. And however many that is on this side, I know it's 2 on this side, will tell me how many trips it took to get to 24. So now I'm counting across the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So it took 12 trips, if you're carrying 2 at a time, for the brown squirrel to tote all the acorns. I'm going to pause for a second and go to a new screen and do the black squirrel using a different division method. Alright, now we're on a new screen, and I'm focusing this time just on the gray squirrel, who's carrying 3 acorns at a time, and I don't know how many it's going to take to carry 24. This time I'm going to use my fact family method. I'm going to draw a circle in here and see if I can think of the factors. So I know there's a 3, how many they're carrying at a time, and I know 24 is how many I want to end up with. So I want to know what number is in the same fact family as 24 and 3. Let me think for a moment. 3 times some number equals 24. I know the answer is 8. 3 times 8 is 24. So this is 24. If I take 3 at a time, instead of saying 3 times 8 is 24, I can say 24 divided by 3, taking 3 at a time, equals 8. You can think of this as inverse operations, or you can think of this as fact families, or as unknown factor, because we did not know 8 was the number we were looking for. So your answer is 8 trips for the gray squirrel. Now we're going to the next one. Alright, now we're ready to focus on the black squirrel. The black squirrel is carrying 5 acorns at a time. With a pile of 24. This time we're going to look at repeated subtraction, or the way to solve a division problem, repeated subtraction. So I'm going to start with 24. I'm going to subtract 5. I have to borrow. So I take 110 away and I regroup it So 110 and 4 ones gives me 14. 14 minus 5 is 9, and I still have one group of 10. So I'm going to see 19 minus 5 more. 9 minus 5 is 4. Don't have to group this time. Gives me 14. So now I go 14 minus 5. 14 minus 5 is 9. Again, I have to regroup. It becomes 0 tens and 14 ones. Now I go 9 minus 5. That gives me 4. Now, can I subtract 5 again from 4? No, of course not. I cannot take 5 away from 4. But I still need one more trip. Even though it won't be 5, he'll have to take another trip and just get these last 4. So if we count up the trips, that's trip number 1, trip number 2, trip number 3, trip number 4, and trip number 5. So we'll take the black squirrel 5 trips. Are those the answers you got? I hope so. Thanks for being a super solver.